Hi everyone. Well, as promised, here's the update on the upcoming warm spell. It's not going to be drastically hot or anything, but it is going to be significantly warmer. So it's worth giving a bit of extra detail on it, really. So this is what we've got at the moment. We've got this area of low pressure out here in the Atlantic, and these colours are it's the temperature map as well as the synoptic pattern at the moment. So we can see the areas of low and high pressure. Now, what we've got is this area of low pressure out here to the west. Now, it's not really affecting us, but if anything, it's battling up against this area of high pressure to the east. And because of that, we're starting to see this warm air starting to push up from the south. At the moment, it's coming in from the south-southwest, but it will start to come in from the continent soon. And you can see these colours, really changing into the deep oranges, maybe even towards the reds a little bit. So that's showing temperatures into the 20s, possibly into the mid-20s as well. So this is on Wednesday. As we head through into Thursday, pretty much the same really. In fact, it continues like this right through the rest of the week, and even into the weekend. It still looks like it could be pretty warm, with this area of high pressure out here still hanging around, and areas of low pressure out here to the west, but they're not quite pushing in, and it doesn't look like they're going to start making their way in until really maybe in towards later on Sunday and into Monday, when the pressure pattern shifts a little bit and we start to get in this cool flow from the Atlantic. So here's the cloud cover for tonight. Now you can see it's not completely overcast, but there is quite a lot of cloud around. Most of it is quite high cloud, and there's some mid-level cloud as well. So what that means, we're going to see some clearer spells at times, but also quite a bit of cloud around, and this will continue really as we head through the night and into tomorrow. We're still going to see quite a bit of cloud around at times, especially at first, and then later on there's going to be further cloud moving in. And then as we heading towards Wednesday, the winds start to come round. Overlay the winds here. The winds start to come round into the southeast by this point. So we've got some much drier air coming in from the southeast, from the continent here. And that means the sky is going to be clearer, so there's going to be much less in the way of cloud. And that really continues through Wednesday and also into Thursday. We do see a bit of a risk of some sea fog possibly developing here. In fact, this cloud here, you can actually see that's showing that there's a risk of sea fog. And that could be possible through really Thursday and into Friday. But that would only be in more coastal parts of the island. So let's have a quick look at the winds and temperature for tonight, and then we'll get into the temperature for the rest of the week. So at the moment we've got winds coming in from the south-southeast, and temperatures around 9-10 degrees Celsius. So not too bad really, at least for evening time. But as we head through the night, you can see the winds start to increase. Now for a time they do pick up to quite strong for a while. And you can see these yellows picking up. We've got some shades of green and shades of yellow here. So that's showing average wind speed. So we're seeing 24-25 miles per hour average, which means we could be gusting up to around 30-32 miles per hour, at least in more coastal parts of the island. And that's later on in the night and in towards tomorrow morning. And then as we move through into the afternoon, you see the temperature start to rise across the island. But also, as well as that, you see these winds, they start to drop off a little bit, so we're back down to around 20, maybe up to 24 miles per hour gusting by that time. But the temperatures will rise quite nicely across the island. More coastal areas, not going to be quite as warm, so we're going to be looking at 12, maybe 13 degrees Celsius in more southern, western and eastern coast. Whereas a few miles inland, temperatures 14, 15, 16, maybe 17 degrees Celsius, especially up towards northern parts of the island. In fact, as we move through tomorrow night, the temperatures don't really drop off that much, even though there's going to be some clearer skies around for a time. And then as we move through into Wednesday, you can see these winds start to turn around into the southeast. And by this time, they're not that strong, so we're looking at 10, maybe 14 miles per hour. So we'll now overlay the temperature colours with this. And you can see here that we're seeing 15, 16, 17 degrees Celsius as we move through Wednesday morning. And then as we move into the afternoon, we start to see 18, possibly 19 degrees Celsius in more northern western parts of the island. A little bit cooler here in more southern and eastern parts, so we're going to be seeing around 12, 13, maybe 14 degrees Celsius if you're lucky on the coast. So it's going to feel quite cool here. And like I said before, the risk of a little bit of sea fog coming in off the English Channel here, and that could affect anywhere along the southern parts of the island and eastern parts of the island, possibly up here towards the northeast a little bit. You know, we're not expecting really dense fog, but there is a risk of a little bit developing at times. So it'll be feeling cooler here, but you know, really quite warm in central and western parts of the island. So it'll feel very pleasant on Wednesday. Then as we move through into Wednesday night, temperatures don't fall away that low. They stay reasonably high. And then to Thursday morning, early Thursday morning, we see 8s or 9s across the island. And by this time, the winds are coming in from the east-northeast. Now you can see here, Thursday, the temperatures really start to pick up. So, you know, Thursday afternoon we see 20, 21, possibly 22 degrees Celsius in a few places. In fact, we may even see temperatures a little bit higher in a few central parts here. It'll be quite localised, but we could see 23 degrees Celsius in a few spots. You know, so this is really quite likely. So by Thursday, you know, it's really going to feel quite pleasant. But coastal areas, once again, we're going to see sea breezes developing all the way around the coast here. So the risk of sea mist developing, once again, you know, possibly in the west, possibly in the south, possibly in the east. The risk of sea mist at this point is slightly lower, really, than what we think it will be on Wednesday, but it could still develop in one or two places. And it will feel quite cool on the coast with 13 or 14 degrees Celsius here. And then as we move through into Friday, the temperatures don't really drop away that much once again on Thursday night. So we're looking at 10s and 11s across the island. And then as we move through into Friday, I mean, we only goes out as far as 1 p.m. here, but this is as far as we can actually go at this point. But you know, even by 1 p.m. we're still seeing temperatures 19, 20 degrees Celsius across the island. So by 2, 3 p.m. we're expecting 22 to 23 across the island. So it'll be really quite pleasant once again. And once again in the coastal areas, we're going to see sea breezes, especially in the west here and in the east. Possibly with the risk of a little bit of sea mist again, but the risk by this time looks quite low. But anyway, that's it for the moment. We'll give you more updates on the temperatures and that as we move through the rest of the week. Also, if the risk of sea fog looks somewhat higher, we'll let you know about that and possibly put out a bit of a warning, because there's going to be some quite a few people out on the water over this coming week, I expect. So yeah, so we could possibly put out a warning for that if the mist looks, you know, very, very likely. Anyway, that's all for the moment. We'll give you more updates in the next few days, and that's all for now. Goodbye.